knitting friends. I thought, while old Fartface is having his Death of Civilization party, we could just have a little knitting catch up. What do you reckon? I think that's a much better idea. I finished something. This is why I really record, isn't it? It's because when I finish something, then I record, because otherwise things mount up. It all gets out of control. So hopefully, a bit of a quicker one today. Mainly things you've seen before. I think probably all things you've seen before, but progress. Progress is everything. I finished the Mr. Socks. There they are, the pair. He's delighted with them. It was his birthday last week, so I wrapped them up and gave them to him, because he obviously wasn't fooled for a minute by me saying I was making them for my sister's neighbour. So I've got another pair I'm making for him at the moment, which I'm telling him those are my sister's neighbour now. Oh, look at me with old croaky throat again. I don't know about you. I am dying to see some podcasts of people sharing what they bought at the Waltham Abbey Wall Festival at the weekend, but I haven't seen any yet. I've got high hopes for Yarn Mugs, who's doing, is it Vloguary? It's a daily vlog thing she does in January. Is doing in January. So I'm hoping she went. So I'm hoping she's going to show us what she's bought. If she bought anything, you never know. Sometimes I go to yarn festivals and buy the most random things and just really end up eating cake and drinking coffee. But more often than not, I'll bring back something completely different to what I was intending to buy. Oh dear, that's a bit of a fringe nightmare. Anyway. You don't care about my fringe. These are the other socks for the Mister. Not really my choice of colour. I've shown you this before. They're the Super Bar Melange in the colourway, something very boring like a number. Yeah, number 4. Colour number 4. Come on down. My usual socks for him, I'm doing a 2x2 broken rib. I've done a heel flap and gusset. Oh, and I've got a sadness. Oh, I love these DPN holders. I love them so much. But I was too vigorous with it. And I've popped out one of my poppers. So I've got to either work out how to, and I can't get it apart. Oh, I've done it. But I think I've lost the little bit that goes on the outside. So I might, which is a bit mad, I might either buy a poppering tool, because I've seen them online. You can buy them where the snap fastener things. And you get like hundreds of colours with them, and they look really good. But would I ever use it again? Would it just be more clutter in my cluttered crafting storage, which is taking over the world? But yeah, oh, I love that little DPN holder, because look, it's all little cat faces. But that's something that I could then buy, couldn't I, next time I go to a yarn show. I don't think I'm going to Unravel this year. Bit sad about, because Mister's working that weekend, and our little rescue cat Lulu, who hopefully will run up the stairs behind us at some point, you'll see her. She's a nervous little thing, and she's very upset that there are other cats in the world, and if you're not here with her... Oh, here she is. Hello, Pudding. Jump up. Yeah, that's it. You rip up the chair. Yeah, do you see? Look, can you see on her side? She overgrooms. So you can get her to do it less often if you're here with her a lot. So I work from home, so I'm here with her all the time. We could never put her in a cattery or anything like that. Oh, do you see that? It's a big patch, isn't it? She's been to the vets about it. There's nothing wrong with her other than she's stressed out. Oh, I'm on the wonk. She's stressed out about next door owning a cat. If she sees another cat walk past at the front of the house, she's okay. If she sees a cat walk past the back of the house, she goes into an absolute screaming fit. If she's outside, she'll go for a screaming fit and try and attack them. So we've had to cat proof the garden, so she doesn't leave our garden now. But we can't stop her from being stressed out about other cats. What can you do? So yeah, all that to say, I probably won't go to our raffle this year because Mister's working that weekend, so he can't be home with her, and I don't want to be out for like 7, 8 hours because it's a train journey from here, and there's no train station where I live, so I have to get a bus to another town, then the train up to Farnham, which all in all takes about 2 hours, I think, so that without even your time at the show. And I don't drive. I can drive, I've got a licence, but I'm really crap, so I think probably best not to inflict myself on the roads. Right then, speaking of Jim's socks, Jim is my sister's neighbour who I make the occasional pair of socks for. I have made him, I think I've told you before, a pair of black socks and a pair of navy socks. I'm in the middle of making him some dark green socks. He's in his 90s and he likes traditional darker colours for socks. And I tend to, when I'm making socks for people I don't know, to do ribbed socks because they fit easily, don't they? These are a bit scrunchy because they're too big for my blockers. And they've been scrunched up in a bag forever. But I've done one of them. So one's pretty good, and then the second one I've done the heel turn, done my flap and gusset. Well, I'm on my gusset decreases, but not too many of them left to go now, and then I'll be on the foot, and then we're nearly home, aren't we? Nearly home. And these, I'm using that lovely new Yarn Smith's merino sock. So this one is called Shades 2K209, but I'm sure you'd see it as it's a dark green. It's darker than a British racing green. It's more like what I call more like a forest green, a dark green. But it's lovely. It feels really soft and really nice, and I know he'll love them when he gets them. So I'm trying to do a few rounds on those every day. But other things are pressing. Other things, not least, my tax return, which I haven't submitted yet. Pretty much ready. Just got to really concentrate and hit go. Oh, now these, you can help me with this. Another pair of socks, another beautiful DPN holder. These are Christmas scrappy socks. So I'm doing a helical knit. This was a red mini from something random, I can't remember where. These are 2 different Christmas socks, and I've done a 1x1 twisted rib, and then just plain knitting, vanilla sock all the way down, with some dark grey and some Christmas yarn. But I only had enough dark grey to do the leg, so I'll divide my balls into 2, and so that's a top that I'm using with the Christmas yarn. That's my little red doodah. And where's my little sparkly fella? There it is. And there's that's another West Yorkshire Spinners Christmas yarn. And then on the foot, I have got this leftover bit of kettle yarn that I used in a shawl. So I'm doing helical knitting. I've nearly finished the first sock. I'm doing the toe decreases, so I am going to finish this sock. But if you were me, would you put those socks away until next Christmas, so Christmas 2025? Would you put them away for 11 months, start knitting them again in December? So I've got a pair of Christmas socks on the needles ready to go. Or would you just crack on and finish them now? Leave me a message in the comments, would you, and tell me what to do. I'm quite tempted to put them away because they're Christmas socks. They're not massively Christmassy, so I could still wear them at any time of year, to my mind. What do I do? But then it'd be nice to have a pair nearly done already, wouldn't they? So I can, this coming Christmas, I mean, it's coming from quite a long way away, I could just finish one sock and have a new pair of Christmas socks in no time at all, which would feel like an amazing win, wouldn't it? I don't know. I'm tempted more to put them away, but then if I get them done, then that frees up those needles, and 3 needles mean another cast on, don't they? And you know, casting socks on is one of life's great pleasures. Right, more socks. I'm sorry, I'm very socky. I'm still very, very socky. This will not be all socks. In fact, these are the last socks of this session. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm announcing the last socks of the session. These are gorgeous, and I need to get these done for spring, for obvious reasons, because they're bright, they're yellow, and they're beautiful. This is that Die Candy yarn, and I've mentioned these before, so I won't keep banging on about it. But I'm so close to finishing. I just need to Kitchener that heel, and then I can cast on the second sock. Bob's your uncle, Fanny's your aunt, and off we go. Sock heaven. And these will be perfect to wear inside my DM shoes or my Converse, that kind of thing. So I'm not the sort of person that can wear shoes without socks. Delicate little tootsies. They're not, they're horrible. I'm not really a foot, but you know, some people just have like lovely feet. I don't really have a lovely anything. Right then. Oh, we're into jumper world. No, and jumper and blanket. All right, I'm going to do jumper, blanket, jumper, and then I'm going to let you go. And then you can watch the Orange What's It if you want. But I'll judge you for it. I am having another crack at making a V-neck boxy. Now, this is my 3rd go with this same yarn, which is suffering from the abuse. This is a yarn by Jude from Stranded Dyeworks, who is no longer dyeing for the foreseeable, and they are concentrating very much on their rewilding Jude build, you know, like working on their beautiful property in Scotland, and all power to them. That's a really lovely podcast to watch. Now, I've cast this on before and not concentrated and cocked it up massively both times. This time I know it's for real. So I'm on my front, I'm doing the V of the V-neck, which you can't really see. I've done the ridges. I've got, 5 inches of this front bit to do to meet up with the little back fella, I suppose. And then I'm assuming that means we'll then join in the round. Now I've got 5, I have to do the other side obviously, and I'm assuming that I'll then put stitches on a holder for the old pits, and then we'll go into the body of it. That's what I'm thinking must happen. I haven't read ahead, which is a fault, because it's not reading ahead that gets me into trouble. Plus, I'm not 100% sure that I've got enough yarn for this. This is like the project that's not meant to be, isn't it? You know, in some projects they just give you all the warnings you could ever need. But I want the thing. See, that was something Jude from Rewilding Jude made a lot of boxes back in the day. Don't know so much the V-neck one, but the round neck one, they made quite a few. And that was what hooked me in. So I want that. I know it's not even going to suit me because I'm busty and it's a big boxy oversized shape, which won't do me any favours at all. But I can sling it on over like a vest top and jeans, can't I? And float about in it indoors and feel like I'm an elegant lady. I'm imagining myself like very much like a sort of I'm talking about this, like an older Greek lady who's moved to England and is feeling the cold. I don't know why I'm thinking that. Oh, now this is, oh, I've got into a bit of a tangle with this. this is a blanket I'm making. I've got no one in mind for this. There are 2 women at work who've had babies recently. One's had twins, so this isn't really great for them because they'd need 2, and I can't. And the other one I don't think would want this. So I don't actually have anyone in mind for this. It may end up going in my Etsy shop. But I saw this yarn in a local yarn shop. And you have to excuse, look, I've got myself into a right old mess with it. And it's one of those giant balls of like this variegated, all pastel colours. And I thought, well, I'll just knit a plain garter baby blanket with that. That will look absolutely smashing. And I'll really enjoy it. But when I started knitting it, it's too mad. It was like, wow. It was like fairy sick. It was too much, way too much, even for me. And just as I was knitting it, I was thinking, man, this is ugly. So I had to like pull it out. Well, luckily, a woman I used to work with in a previous job, when I used to work in an office, never again, had given up knitting. She just, got bored of it. And she gave me some yarn, some baby yarn. So I've just used that for when people wanted, little bits and bobs for babies. But I've still got this. This is Sirdar Snuggly in this sort of peachy pink. Don't think the colour's coming out brilliantly well here. I've got to have the lights on because got the big light on because it's pretty gloomy and there's no way around it. Yeah, it's a sparkly peachy pinky colour. So I'm doing 4 rows of this. I've got about 3 or 4 balls of it. 4 rows of that and then 2 rows of the crazy pastel fella. And, see, that's not going to come out brilliantly well on screen. But let me tell you, in real life, this is absolutely lovely. Look. Look, oh, see now, when I've got it really up close to the screen, you can see how pretty is that? I think that's really lovely. You can just see a little bit of twinkling going on, twinkle, twinkle. From a distance, not so great. Close up, smashing. So yeah, I'm enjoying that. I'm not getting a lot of progress on it because I thought that would also be a good TV knit, but we got trees right in front of our house and behind us as well, so it can get quite gloomy here. And the colours, the 2 different yarns, in the evening, if you haven't got the big light on, and the missus doesn't like the big light on in the evening, they're too close together and you can't see brilliantly well which is which. So I've ended up not working on that in the evening, so I'm just doing the odd row here and there. So probably be quite a long time before I finish that. But because I don't have anyone in mind for it, doesn't really matter, does it? Yeah, that's it. Sirdar Snuggly Pearls DK. Did I say it was DK? It's just something really lovely, I think, about DK yarn and garter stitch. It's just, for me, that's a really lovely combination. Because I had another blanket I was making for the natter group I go to. They have like a charity stall. So I had some more yarn that was left over from other projects that the woman I'd worked with had given me. And I thought, well, I'll stripe those together and make a stripe blanket. And that didn't work either because all the ends, even when you wove them in, it looked messy on the back to me. I wasn't keen on it at all. And then I hadn't calculated it properly, so it was all a bit of a disaster. So I might just use those. Got loads of little bits of yarn of that now. I've had to unpick it. And I think I'm going to use those for granny squares at some point. Now then, one last jumper and then you're free to go. This is living currently, because I don't have a project bag big enough for it, in my seeded buttons tote bag. bright pink with a gold printed logo on, which I absolutely love. This is the cheeriest of cheery things. So this is my big bag of scraps for my Lissington Lines tunic. Oh, I love this so much. Now this is another thing that's going to be just for the joy of it. And I can see myself wearing this a lot. Look at how many stripes I've done. Oh, I'm so happy. Loads of stripes. That's 10 stripes. The only one that's not worked out brilliantly well is that I've got this dark green there that's not showing up brilliantly well, but I don't care. I really don't care. Now I'm on a bit where I have to do quite a lot of just plain navy, so that'll be good. So this comes down to boob level, just about boob level, and then I'll split after I've got another 2 centimeters I think of that navy to do. Then we split for the arms, and then off we go into a long section of plain, and I think we get some increases. It tapers out a little bit, not into a massive A-line, but a little bit A-line-ish. And then we get more stripes at the bottom before we go on to sleeves. And the sleeves are striped as well. So much joy with that. And this I do something on every day as well. So I've got a few projects that I do like a few light rows on every day. Now I reckon if I just pulled my finger out and concentrated on one thing at a time, I'd probably get some of them done, wouldn't I? But that's just not me. That is not how I'm doing things. So, oh, I can put this away when I stop talking to you. I need to stop fanning about, don't I? Oh, the fringe trauma. Now, I've got a book that I've started reading that means we're not going to have much book talk for a long time. I finished reading Barbara Vine Astor's book, which is really good. I thought the ending was a bit weak. I thought the reveal at the end, the person revealed at the end, was a bit of a lazy cop-out and very, very unlikely. And it wasn't necessary at all. They didn't need to tie up that loose end at all, really. Yeah, so a good book with a slightly duff ending, bearing in mind I think most books have duff endings. I'm still reading The Book of Fire on audiobook by Christy Lefteri. So good. That's really good. I think if you like Elif Shafak, you'll like that. It's about people living on a Greek island who lose their homes, and it's very contemporary at the moment. What's the word? Not contemporary. Oh, I've forgotten the word. Oh, I don't know. Anyway, I mean, there's those horrendous fires in LA, aren't there, at the moment? But there's been what appears at first to be a wildfire in this book. What appears to have been a wildfire. It turns out it was arson in the end. It was someone who's trying to clear a patch of land, patch of forest that they could build a hotel, and then it just got out of control because of the wind. And people have died, and loads of people lost their houses and been injured, and you know, it's horrible. But it's really about people rebuilding afterwards, and also about the guy that set the fire, but you only meet him once, and his name crops up a lot in it. It's not so much about him. Towards the end you meet like his ex-wife and his child. But it's such a good book. It's very, it's very evocative. I would probably say for living in an area that gets accepted, that gets at risk of wildfires. Maybe not for you, because it might be a bit triggering. So yeah, I mean, gosh, I mean the horror of it. But it's not, funny enough, it's not a bleak book. It is and it isn't. It's all, it's quite sad and bad things happen to people, but it is kind of about finding a way to move on, and about kindness, about the kindness of people. that when you've suddenly lost everything, about people who are strangers to you coming forward to help. So that's really nice. But yeah, definitely, if you like Elif Shafak, I would look up some of her these books. Oh God, what's her name? Christy Lefteri. I don't know what is wrong with my brain at the moment. Anyway, so the reason we're not going to be talking about books very much for the next few weeks is because I've started reading this. David Copperfield. I love a bit of Dickens, but look at the size of it. My God, it's a biffer, isn't it? Wow, that is a big old thick book. There's 737 pages in this, and I'm often only managing to read like 10, 12 pages a day. So I think it's pretty obviously going to take me quite a long time to read it, isn't it? But I'm enjoying it already. I'm enjoying it, and I'm gonna also, once I've finished the Book of Fire, which I'm listening to on audiobook, I've got this out on audiobook too. So I'm gonna read it and listen to it concurrently. So when I can't pick up a book to read, because when the mister does shifts, so when he's home for like 4 or 5 days on the trot, I don't often get enough quiet time to sit and read a book. But he's at work today, so I do have a bit more time to do that. But I've got other work. I need to do some work for my Etsy shop and stuff. Tomorrow I need to do my tax return. Oh, too many boring things. But yeah, hopefully I'll make a decent dent in this at some point. But I don't think we'll be talking about books for quite some time. And I don't want The Traitors to end. I'm watching The Traitors and I don't want it to end. I love it so much. And I really want Mina to win. I love Mina. I think she's made the most hideous mistake recruiting Charlotte, who I think is going to screw her over really badly at the end. And I just really... because I just love that Mina does these like little self-aware bits where she kind of just gets the giggles and is like, kind of, what have I become? Like, who should we murder tonight? And then like, she realise, it's like she then realises what she said and starts laughing. I love her. I think she's absolutely cracking. I really badly want her to win. So if you've got a favourite, a Traitor's favourite, you can add that in the comments below. And with that, right, we're at 27 minutes. That's a good time to leave you, isn't it? Right, you take care now and try not to let all the news and all the annoying things in the world get you down too much. There's always something light you can distract yourself with. That's what I'm going to say. Switch off the social media if you need to. Sometimes I don't watch any news programmes at all. But whatever you do, put the kettle on, have a nice cup of tea, and have extra chocolate biscuits today, okay? You have to have more chocolate biscuits today. It's just the law. Now you take care. Bye-bye.